This is a story. Not a story, but also true events that happened in my life. I could go into some specific dates. Some specific dates I will probably go into and tell you about. Detail-ish to detail. It's also my sense of humor, sorry, to the articulated ones. But, for me, this is not a story. It's a story, but it's also my real life. Actual events, true. So, I get out of jail and I'm homeless in my car. And it's cold that first night, a little bit. And I go to Old Town Arvada at the Wadsworth 72nd 7-Eleven. There's the church right there. It's the Rising, and I'm not sure of the first and biggest one that's right there. But in that parking lot, it's okay to park there. And I'm parked in the parking lot that's open, and also across from a preschool. Open parking lot, but then a couple cars. I'm sitting there, and a Christina and bar fight trickles out, which is just this guy and his wife that are like, give me the effing keys like I'm driving. You picked me up and you slammed me twice. Now, I know this because like I'm sitting there and I'm looking in my rearview mirror and I see them run past. Boom, 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 and bam. And this took place for an hour and a half. I know because it was 11:30. And I'm like, oh my God, like in my world, I say outside in a drunken moment to any female that I've ever been with, like F-O-I-U-B, start spelling the big word soon. Like out loud, 1 minute and 40, liar, 1:36. They would be there in my life, 14 deep. That's a guarantee. That was not me. Not my situation, not my DV, and no. Now, she picks him up, boom, and boom. And this is true. I'm like, oh my God, you picked me up, dropped me twice, like. Now I wait till 6 o'clock early in the morning, and there's no anything. But then early in the night it was buenas noches, and more witnesses left, and they're just like you can tell they're just like good luck, like they don't care, like let them just there's no recording and taking pictures, and like, but then it became like a situation where, okay, well, I definitely witnessed some stuff that in my life they would be there in 1:36. 14 deep, and I'd be on the ground, being wrestled down, running around, right there by the movie theaters, just running down and running back. They'd be like, Mr. Tungy, you cannot be out here just running and just pretend it, and like he drunkenly grabbed the football and then was like, you cannot be in the parking lot pretending like you're playing football at all. You can't do that. They'd be like, but then all of a sudden they're like, and you guys huddle up on me. I would have to be here going the third person character view of how they caught me on the right day, and they're like, okay, well, he's out here. I mean, I'd have to be out there and running around first of all, and then, oh God, Hendricks shows up. Say, huddle up. I wouldn't even know. I'd be like, you go out there and I see Jeremy and I see anyways, I was playing football over here. The humanity. Now, point and facto being the story is this. When I left that scene and was not questioned and was not interrogated or asked or even like and it was loud. Really loud. How? But not only this, when I left, went to go get some coffee, but then came back and my spot where I had been was coned off. I'm like, oh my God. But then earlier that night, I'm thinking, I'm like this has been gone on long. Nothing happened. I'm gonna be drop, like, and then, which means I'm gonna be drop exploded down, and then just burst exploded into the parking lot spot right there, wherever it was, which I could name and probably should and will. That's a true story. But that, remember that I had that thought. Now I'm coming back around. My spot is coned off. Now remember what I thought before. I'm like, no way. No, I did not take pictures of this. Did not record that or the other thing. This is also true and did happen. Let me just say this also. So I wheel back around and I park right in front of the church, and there she is. Sitting there, and I was like, no. I very humbly asked for a date with a police officer, and she is so beautiful now. I'm thinking about it. Hi. And she, it was like, oh my, I was like, Wilson. She said, yes, buddy. And, she comes back around and I see her walking. I'm like, I don't even have to know how long. I went to open the door and pulled the handle and the thing locked, and she's like, well, what? And I'm like, oh man. She's like, yeah, well, the door didn't come unlocked, and I immediately became insecure of the fact that I was homeless, and that he would immediately find out a lot about who I was, but then would almost hope that she would know that, and she would know that. But then have that conversation with her on a walk about everything, tell her everything that I know to be true, and for her to tell me everything that she knew to be true, but then that's off duty, out of line with me. That's personal, too personal, impersonal, but very personal, but never impersonal. Because then she's like, that's like, you either marry me or like, I'll never think about me ever again, right, on that walk, or not. With her and me, and her looking up everything that she would need to know, the whole shift, she probably did, and then was like I was gonna, like, I see exists now, and I'm talking about a police officer who's beautiful, and she was not a once in a lifetime opportunity, was once in a lifetime interaction with someone that she knows who I am. Regardless of passerby, like, this guy blew me off and was like, I knew that he did not have a B on him, but that dang door, like, was like she's like, a res mine, like, how are you gonna ask me, like, excuse me, ma'am, like write down, like, and then like how do I respond to that? Like, how do I respond to that? And she like would know that, like, I'd have to hear him out. But then, are there things being hidden from me? And she tells me those things, but I don't know if I want to take him down that journey. And I would beg her to tell. If that there was, in fact, and then there was, but then would she get fired ultimately because of that? I don't know that I might find out, and I very well could know. But no, because then she would never have to say anything. But it'd be like, I am married, and they would be like, well, that would, like, to who? We heard from only a certain few many people who are allowed to even think or breathe, and we know some people that you know, that you're married to, and you're like, you cannot say his name, regardless to the irrelevant. You're married to Bruce Wayne. I mean, she'd be one of the most classified and one of the most precious to me. Someone that would have been give my whole heart and soul to. And I don't know what's waiting for other than that. That being said, uh, I know that it'd be a hard pill to swallow because, like, she would have to tell me some things. And would that be things that we both already knew, or that would, I mean, she would also be one of the most valuable people in our band, period. Like, immediately to the top of the list of like people that like you like they would hear, like no one would even say anything. No one on my side of the river would know anything about that. If I was to be married to a police officer, they would be like, yeah, right. But being that I was just with the admiral's daughter, the captain's daughter, and then they're like, whoa, pretty much you can't touch him anyway. And right, being that my wife would immediately be moved up to like a detective that you know that would have reading absolutely the best skill, ability, and some Derek Ian wore out the Kino. I did it to him first in a sparring match, and I saw him do it second time in a fight in second grade. Where are you going with this? Good story. I'm protective and loving, and it doesn't always have to be about violence. But that was a joke, and not okay. Well, okay. Anyway, I don't ever feel like I've ever missed an opportunity, and that you could, because we are here now, and there's always time to. I don't know. It seems like people are intervening and interjecting in people's lives, and I don't really know how to do that. But then to just be there, and then interactions happen, I have no choice but to take part in that. No matter how intimate and forced they may seem or become, they are what they are. So that being said, I cherish that and value that. It's valuable. To me, mattered. So anyway, make things a little bit brighter. Anyways, I don't like a lot of things that have been said about me that I can only imagine because of speculation and wonderment of how things would possibly look if someone were to go really deep into my files of who I am and what I am now and what I always have been. And like, we didn't doubt any of this. Then why the heck were such ugly and atrocious and such disgusting things being allowed to be said about me? Like, that are not true. Then people just carried on with it. Like, that's not acceptable to me because there's nothing keeping me from my daughter whatsoever. Like, at all. There's nothing keeping us apart. Like, Sarah's safe. Okay? And I'm saying this to say that, like, if I was to be married to a woman, the police caliber, to speak, I wouldn't be saying anything, but people would know that like I'm safe. Like he's like on our side of the family, people who know that would be like he's married like to a police officer, and like it's like he doesn't carry weapons, but they are Chinese stars and like the Orient and things of that nature, and they're like martial arts stuff, and it's like, well, it's like, what's the difference? Is he still safe? So and to get or be involved in an altercation with me is like, why are we fighting to begin with? Like, I can't sit here and think of one good damned reason to be arguing with a female, or ever have been at all, period, but I can think of a few women. This is not being smart. I just talk shit, like, no, like, that's something that does not say anything, especially if it's not true. But it didn't say anything to begin with. Can then just like, things are too good around here, like, and then just go like just sabotage. Like, men don't understand that, especially when they come to find out like nothing was going on. But boy, were some really dangerous things were also said. Sorry, but at which point would I be sharing the rest of this with my daughter? Because it does, if I were to be telling the story, go that far. But if rumor went around, said things were said. We go to meet my daughter together, and she is who she is. What would be the problem? Now. That's me now. That could very well have happened. Like, it was right there to happen. Being that she'd given the chance and the opportunity to call her and talk to her, knowing what she knows, that we went on that walk, and I guarantee you we would be married. Period. I know that. She'd fully accept the fact that she is married to kind of a character, but not kind of, but like the whatever character she wanted me to be, whatever. And like that's still me now. There would be no problem. Why is that? I go to custody hearing, custody hearing with me and my wife, who she is, who she would be, hypothetically. And we're contesting, and landslide goes our direction, being that would probably be 90% of it. But then someone might be in trouble, but not on my side. For a lot of things, as soon as you start reading said documents, you know immediately that there was a lot of lies said. But it's not like, oh yeah, haha, yeah. Why would I ever, ever, ever want to do that? But yeah, of course, like, to see my daughter, like, let's keep it at that. But then it's like, well, don't even talk to me about that one. I would want to give everything that I have in my life to then said wife and Sarah and Ashlyn. Period. No matter what. I do not get in a relationship to break up. It's like, where's Sarah now? And like, oh yeah, you finally made it. Like, materialistically, it's like unacceptable to me and repulsive to think about. I don't want to hear that. Like, oh, but yeah, he made it finally. But like, no. Like, at one point in time, would that ever still be acceptable? You know, like, I don't find that to be appealing. That hurts my throat. Anyways.